are seeing some quantities of gold.
It shows gold.
Yeah, it's there.
For over 200 years, Oak Island has been a giant mystery that's kept people guessing. Treasure hunters, including the unstoppable Lagina brothers, Rick and Marty, have been digging and exploring every inch of this strange island, chasing the dream of hidden riches. And now, after all that hard work, something amazing has finally come up. The big question everyone's been asking? It's not a mystery anymore. But what was really hiding on Oak Island all this time? Let's dive in and uncover the truth. It's a wild story that'll blow your mind. The adventure started with a huge clue: gold found in the island's water. That discovery lit a fire under Rick, Marty, and their team. They couldn't wait to dig deeper, literally. From the island's thick forests to its muddy swamps, they searched high and low for anything that could lead them to treasure. And boy, did they find some cool stuff along the way. One of their big finds was an old handmade ladder, its worn-out steps whispering tales from long ago. It was like a time machine, giving them a peek into the lives of the island's first visitors. But the real jaw-dropper: a secret underwater tunnel hiding below the surface. Inside, they found weird symbols and carvings, each one like a puzzle piece from a forgotten story. Of course, it wasn't all smooth sailing. The island threw some tough challenges their way: rocky ground, wild weather, you name it. But Rick and Marty didn't give up. Fueled by excitement and a hunger for answers, they kept going. Every discovery brought them closer to cracking Oak Island's secrets. Bit by bit, they pieced together a story way bigger and crazier than anyone expected. Think pirate loot, hidden tunnels, and a past that feels like it's straight out of a movie. So, what's the deal with Oak Island? It's not just about treasure. It's about a hidden history that's finally coming to life. And thanks to the Lagina brothers and their team, we're all getting a front row seat to the adventure. One of the biggest wow moments came when Rick and Marty Lagina's team found tiny bits of gold in wooden samples pulled from deep holes they drilled on Oak Island. This wasn't just a cool find. It was solid proof that something valuable was hiding down there. That golden clue lit up their spirits and gave them the push they needed to keep digging. Along the way, they uncovered all sorts of treasures, like old coins and fancy carved stones, each one a little window into the lives of the mysterious people who once walked the island. Finding that gold and those ancient goodies was a game changer. It showed that all their hard work, patience, and never-give-up attitude were paying off. Even if Oak Island doesn't spill all its secrets, Rick, Marty, and their crew have already left behind an awesome legacy. One that'll inspire adventurers and dreamers for years to come. The Lagina brothers and their team never let anything stop them. Not even creepy tales of a deadly curse guarding the treasure. Their unstoppable optimism and teamwork kept them going strong. It all started with that first big hint: gold in the island's water. That discovery was like rocket fuel, sending them racing to explore every corner of the island for more. And wow, did they find some neat stuff? Ancient artifacts, strange carvings, you name it. Every find pulled them closer to a treasure that's been buried for over 200 years. Sure, they hit plenty of roadblocks, tough terrain, bad weather, but their belief in uncovering the island's past never wavered. With every challenge they conquered, their hope grew bigger, and their brotherly bond kept them tough as nails. Rick and Marty's main mission? To dig up Oak Island's deepest stories. Every time they unearthed something new, their excitement spiked, pushing them forward no matter what. Their grit and hope have peeled back the island's tricky layers, bit by bit. Even when the work got exhausting, they never stopped believing they'd hit the jackpot. It's a reminder to all of us. Staying hopeful can carry you through the toughest times. And as they kept finding more, they knew they needed hard evidence to figure out their next step, because this adventure's far from over. Gold on Oak Island, the science that sparked a treasure hunt. Rick and Marty Lagina, along with their trusty team, didn't just dig around Oak Island with shovels and hope. They brought in some serious science to back up their wild treasure hunt. By carefully testing and studying everything they found, they turned up hard proof that the island's hiding something big. One of their coolest moments? Finding tiny specks of gold in wooden samples pulled from deep underground. Picture this. They drilled down, grabbed some old wood, and when they tested it, bam! Gold! The team practically jumped for joy. This wasn't just a lucky guess. It was real evidence that Oak Island's got treasures waiting to be found. That golden discovery didn't just lift their spirits. It lit a fire under them to dig even more. Armed with this exciting clue, they started exploring new spots on the island, dreaming of what else might be hiding out there. But they didn't stop at wood. Oh no! The team went full science mode. They tested the dirt, checked out the rocks, and ran all kinds of fancy surveys to figure out what's what. Every test gave them a bigger piece of the puzzle about Oak Island's past, like a map to its secrets. All this brainy work helped Rick and Marty understand the island better and gave their ideas some serious street cred. The best part? This science stuff shut down the doubters. With solid facts and careful testing, the team proved their finds were the real deal. No fairy tales here. Digging deeper, literally, they uncovered awesome stuff like old bricks from a place called the Garden Shaft. These finds were like time capsules, telling stories about the people who lived on the island way back when. Every relic and structure they dug up, whether it was a carved stone or a hidden wall, added another chapter to Oak Island's mysterious history. It's like Rick, Marty, and their crew are detectives piecing together a 200-year-old case. With every shovel scoop, they're getting closer to the full story and having a blast doing it. Teamwork makes the dream work on Oak Island. Digging into Oak Island's secrets isn't easy. Think tough terrain, tricky tunnels, and a whole lot of dirt. But Rick and Marty Lagina and their team never give up. Every time they find something cool, it's like a high five from the island itself, boosting their hope and making them believe they're this close to cracking its mysteries. The real magic? Teamwork. They've teamed up with experts from all over the world to tackle this wild adventure. By working with historians, archaeologists, and metal wizards, aka metallurgists, Rick and Marty have turned Oak Island into a giant history puzzle, and they're finding the pieces. These brainy pros bring big ideas and know-how, helping the team dig deeper into the island's past. Old maps, dusty records, and forgotten documents? The historians dive in, tracing Oak Island's story back hundreds of years and spotting clues that make the mystery less mysterious. Archaeologists are like detectives with shovels, carefully studying artifacts and dig sites. They've uncovered hints about the people who once roamed the island, like what they did and what secrets they might have buried. Then there's the metallurgists, who use super smart tech to check out bits of metal the team finds. By figuring out what these metals are made of and where they came from, they reveal awesome details about the island's history, like who made this stuff and how. All this teamwork gives the crew better tools, sharper ideas, and a clearer picture of Oak Island's past. It's like having a treasure map that keeps getting more detailed with every discovery. Working together, they've come up with fresh ways to explore, like new digging tricks and smart strategies to peel back the island's hidden stories layer by layer. Even with all the challenges, this dream team keeps pushing forward. Every find, like a strange brick or a carved stone, brings them closer to solving the Oak Island riddle that's had treasure hunters scratching their heads for centuries. Take those wild flood tunnels, for example. Some folks think they were built way back by the original money pit makers to guard their loot. Cool, right? With every step, Rick, Marty, and their expert pals are rewriting the island's story, and they're not stopping until they've got the whole thing figured out. It's a big, exciting group effort, and each discovery is another win in their quest to uncover Oak Island's biggest secrets. The mystery tunnels and strange stones of Oak Island. Those tricky tunnels on Oak Island, they've got people guessing. Some say the flood tunnels, like the ones at Smith's Cove, were built way back by the original folks who hid the treasure, making sure no one could get to it. Others think they were added later by sneaky treasure hunters trying to outsmart each other. Whoever built them, one thing's for sure, the Smith's Cove flood tunnels show off some seriously clever engineering. They've got fans buzzing with ideas about what they were for, protecting secrets or digging them up. Even with all we've learned, there's still a big "huh?" hanging over these tunnels, keeping Oak Island's story a bit fuzzy and oh so exciting. Then there's the weird stone carvings popping up all over the island. Letters, numbers, and funky symbols that have everyone scratching their heads. Treasure hunters and researchers can't stop staring at them. But figuring out what they mean, that's a tough one. Are they ancient codes from the island's first visitors? Maybe secret messages from treasure hiders centuries ago? Or could they be newer, scratched in by later explorers or curious wanderers? No one's cracked the case yet because there's not enough info to connect the dots. It's like a puzzle with missing pieces. These mysterious markings are a big neon sign that Oak Island's past is wild and complicated. They hint at people who might have lived or stopped by over the years, leaving behind these cryptic notes. Even though we don't know the full story, they keep the excitement alive, pushing the team to dig deeper, literally and figuratively, into the island's secrets. Speaking of digging, let's rewind to the early 1900s, when some bold treasure hunters decided to take on Smith's Cove in a big way. They built something called a cofferdam. Think of it as a giant wall to hold back the water so they could dig in places usually underwater. It was a genius move to tackle the island's soggy spots. While they were at it, they found cool stuff buried down there, like old wooden platforms and structures. These finds were like postcards from the past, showing how people way back when tried to outsmart the island's watery traps. The Lagina brothers, Rick and Marty, and their awesome crew are still at it today, teaming up with all kinds of experts to crack Oak Island's mysteries. Historians dig through old maps and dusty papers, archaeologists poke around artifacts, and metal experts study every shiny bit they find. It's a big group effort. Every discovery, like those tunnels, stones, or wooden relics, adds a little more to the story. The team's got grit, smarts, and a whole lot of curiosity driving them forward. They're piecing together this giant jigsaw puzzle one clue at a time. And we're all along for the ride, wondering what's next. Digging up Oak Island's clever past. When treasure hunters built that big cofferdam at Smith's Cove way back when, they didn't just hold back the water, they uncovered some seriously smart stuff. Underneath, they found wooden platforms and structures that screamed, "Someone clever was here." These finds got everyone wondering, who built this? Were they digging for treasure or setting up something big? Some think these were leftovers from old treasure hunts, while others dream up wilder ideas tied to Oak Island's famous mysteries. Every clue they pulled up made the island's hidden history a little less foggy. and fired up the team to keep going, no matter how tough it got. Those wooden setups at Smith's Cove weren't just cool. They showed that people centuries ago were engineering pros, tackling the island with big plans. It's like they left behind a giant wow for us to find, adding fuel to the treasure tales and secret stories swirling around Oak Island. That cofferdam? It's proof of how curious and crafty people have been about this place forever. And the discoveries didn't stop there. Old maps, journals, and explorers' stories started popping up, giving us a sneak peek into Oak Island's wild past. These papers are like time machines, showing us who came here, what they chased, and the crazy challenges they faced. The maps are the real stars, drawn by explorers and dreamers over the years. They're packed with details about the island's layout, special spots, and maybe even treasure hideouts. By studying them, the team can see how Oak Island's changed and guess where the action happened long ago. Then there's the journals, personal tales from folks who braved the island. They spill the beans on rough terrain, tricky digs, and awesome finds, painting a picture of what it was like back in the day. These records also dish out the juicy stuff: pirate loot rumors, Templar treasure theories, and more. They're the kind of stories that make your imagination run wild and keep Oak Island's mysteries alive. Thanks to these maps and notes, researchers like Rick Lagina and his crew have pieced together more of the island's puzzle. It's a messy, exciting mix of history and legend that keeps new treasure hunters and brainy types hooked. And guess what? After years of digging, dreaming, and teamwork, Rick and his squad finally cracked the case. Gold bits, ancient goodies, and some super smart science helped them solve Oak Island's big riddle. It's a huge win for treasure hunting history, a story built by tons of people over decades, all obsessed with uncovering the past. Even with some questions still floating around, those old documents and fresh finds mean Oak Island's tale will keep thrilling us for years to come. Oak Island, more than just treasure. Oak Island isn't just about shiny gold or buried loot. It's about people's unstoppable drive to figure things out. Every clue dug up and every wild idea tested adds another twist to this island's amazing story. It pulls in researchers, storytellers, and anyone who loves a good mystery, wrapping them up in its crazy, cool history. This adventure doesn't just thrill the folks swinging shovels. It excites a whole crowd of fans and smarty-pants types who can't wait to hear what's next. As Oak Island's tale keeps rolling with new digs and finds, it's like a real-life movie about history, adventure, and the unknown. It shows how we humans love chasing answers to big, old questions, whether we uncover piles of treasure or just some neat secrets about the past. It's all about that itch to explore and dig up what's hidden, and Oak Island's got that magic in spades. Oak Island's secrets. Are they real? For ages, Oak Island has been the ultimate tease, a little patch of land off Nova Scotia that's had people dreaming of riches, ancient relics, and legends forever. Historians, treasure hunters, and curious folks have been hooked on its mysteries for as long as anyone can remember. It's not much to look at, but oh man, does it have a reputation? They say it's hiding something huge, maybe pirate gold or lost artifacts, wrapped up in stories passed down through families like a game of telephone. This place is a giant brain teaser. From the famous Money Pit, where tons of people think the treasure's chilling, to a maze of tunnels and traps that seem built to mess with you, Oak Island has kept its lips sealed tight. Tons of hopeful adventurers have shown up, eyes sparkling, only to walk away with nothing but muddy boots. It's been dodging questions for over 200 years, leaving everyone stumped. Until now, Enter Rick and Marty Lagina, two brothers who refused to let this island win. After centuries of head-scratching, dead ends, and almosts, they finally hit on something big. Something that might flip the whole Oak Island story upside down. But before we spill the beans on this game changer, let's rewind and give these guys some props. Rick and Marty kicked off their treasure hunt with a big dream and a gut feeling that Oak Island's legends weren't just bedtime stories. They brought brains, tons of research and history know-how, and a never-say-die attitude. For years, they battled the island's tough dirt, dodging setbacks like champs. Every oops moment just made them dig harder, fueled by curiosity and a rock-solid belief they'd crack it. "Whoa, check that out. Those are some big finds," they'd say, eyes wide. And now, after all that grit, they've uncovered something that's got everyone buzzing. Could this be the treasure the world's been waiting for? Stick around. This Oak Island tale's just heating up. The Lagina brothers' wild ride on Oak Island. Rick and Marty Lagina had been at it for years, digging into Oak Island's secrets, chasing a treasure that sometimes felt more like a fairy tale than reality. Just when they were starting to wonder if they'd ever find anything, boom, they hit the jackpot. Deep in the dirt, they uncovered a weird stone covered in funky, unreadable symbols. This wasn't just any rock. It was a game changer that lit a fire under them and got them pumped to keep going. That strange stone wasn't just a win for the brothers. It grabbed the whole world's attention. People everywhere started buzzing about Oak Island again, hooked on the idea that this mystery might finally get solved. It wasn't the first time the island made waves, but the Lagina's find turned up the heat. Their adventure even landed them a hit TV show, The Curse of Oak Island, where millions watched them chase the dream with grit and guts. Fans couldn't get enough, not just of the treasure hunt, but of the brothers' never-give-up spirit. And then, just when you thought it couldn't get crazier, they struck again. They found a hidden tunnel connecting the beach to the legendary Money Pit. Buried under old logs stacked up over hundreds of years, this tunnel screamed, "Something big's down here." But it also left them scratching their heads. Who built it? Why hide it so well? And what's waiting at the end? Treasure or trouble? Tests on dirt and stuff they pulled from the pit hinted that Oak Island had visitors way before Europeans showed up. Maybe ancient folks with secrets of their own. With the tunnel in the mix, Rick and Marty felt closer than ever to cracking the case. But they knew it wouldn't be easy. Their quest turned into a TV sensation, bringing in more help and high-tech gear. Divers checking out underwater caves, metal detectors buzzing, and experts eyeballing every little find. "Look at that!" they'd shout, digging up bits like pottery, old coins, wooden beams, even scraps of fancy parchment. But here's the kicker. The big treasure? Still playing hard to get. Time was ticking, and the island wasn't giving up its goodies without a fight. Dead ends piled up. Every "we've got it" moment turned into a "not yet." Frustration hit hard. But did the Lagina brothers quit? Nope. Each stumble just made them tougher, more determined to keep going. They've faced setbacks galore, thinking they were this close only to hit another wall. But their hearts stayed in it, their hope burning bright. Oak Island's not just about gold or gems. It's about two brothers and a team who won't stop until they've uncovered the truth, no matter how long it takes. The never-ending quest for Oak Island's treasure. Rick and Marty Lagina didn't let disappointment stop them. They kept digging, certain that Oak Island's treasure was still out there, just waiting to be grabbed. But as the years rolled on, things got tough. They had to face a scary thought. What if there's no treasure to find? What if Oak Island's big mystery stays a mystery forever? The deeper they went, the more it felt like the island was teasing them with a story way trickier than they'd imagined. Still, the team didn't flinch. They stayed locked on their mission, convinced they were this close to something mind-blowing. Even so, Oak Island's full tale? It's still a giant question mark. Every clue they uncover just spins more riddles, like a treasure hunt with no map. But the crew's hope burns bright. They're betting that one day they'll crack the secrets that have stumped folks for hundreds of years. This adventure's nowhere near done, and every day brings them closer to the truth, whatever it might be, about Oak Island and its hidden goodies. It's that same grit and guts that's pulled so many dreamers to this wild island before them. Thanks for tuning in. So, what do you think? Was all the time and money poured into the money pit worth it? Or just a big pricey oops? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more Oak Island action.